This is Kite Cutter TV with another presentation. We gotta talk about this. Okay, guys, Immigration and Customs Enforcement announced that it had arrested more than 150 people as part of an operation that picked up immigrants who did not have legal permission to live in the United States and who promised to leave the country. Most of the people detained had criminal charges or convictions. Operation Broken Promise targeted immigrants who had promised to voluntarily leave the country rather than face deportation, but they never did. If requested, immigrants can be given between 60 and 120 days to leave the country. Of the 150 people arrested since, by November 2nd, 86% of those had criminal convictions or pending charges, the agency said. The operation marks one of a number of operations carried out by the agency in recent months, notably catching a substantial number of illegal immigrants with rap sheets. We got a lot more topics to get into, so without further ado, check this out.
Today I'm here to announce the results of Operation Broken Promise, an additional operation with the same purpose, maintaining accountability to protect our lawful pathways to entry and citizenship. Operation Broken Promise is a national operation in which ICE deployed officers across the country in search of undocumented aliens who broke their promise to the United States and the immigration courts by failing to leave the country on an order of voluntary departure. During the past 2 weeks, ICE's enforcement and removal operations located 154 aliens who received an order of voluntary departure but refused to leave the United States. In fact, during the first phase of Operation Broken Promise, ICE located 133 aliens with criminal convictions. This is 86% of the individuals arrested. These crimes include crimes of domestic violence, cruelty towards children, sexual assault, prostitution, burglary, and drug offenses. As of November 18th, more than 50 of the aliens have already been removed from the United States.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement are looking at their impact on the nationwide immigration enforcement action. Officials spoke about a new operation today named Operation Broken Promise, where deployed officers across the country are in search of undocumented immigrants who failed to leave the United States on a voluntary order departure.
During the past 2 weeks, ICE's enforcement and removal operations located 154 aliens who received an order of voluntary departure but refused to leave the United States.
Stick with us. Later on in the show, we'll have more on the new operation by ICE officials.
And a driver faces charges for human smuggling and other crimes following a chase this morning. It ended when the suspect crashed into a gas pump in southwest San Antonio. DPS troopers and several law enforcement agencies were involved in that chase that started in Frio County around 8 a.m. The driver also passed through Medina County before losing control at a gas station near I-35 in 1604. He crashed into a gas pump, sparking a small fire.
And was unable to move himself away from the gas pump and the truck, which had now caught fire. A trooper was able to drag the driver away from the flames and perform life-saving measures on him.
Troopers say there were even 7 undocumented immigrants in that truck. They are in the custody of federal agents tonight, along with that driver.
A hunch by sheriff's deputies in Frio County leading to a wild chase that ended with a crash in South Bexar County.
All 7 passengers in the truck involved are suspected of being undocumented immigrants. The driver is in the hospital with a head injury.
Katrina Weber reports he's also facing charges that include smuggling.
County deputies and state troopers helped to bring an end to what would become a federal case. A pickup that was being pursued around 8 this morning came to an abrupt stop at this gas station at Loop 1604 and Interstate 35, knocking a gas pump right off its roost and sparking a small fire.
The driver had a head injury and could not get far enough away from the flames of the vehicle and had to be assisted by a trooper.
That Department of Public Safety trooper had to drag away the 26-year-old driver from danger after he tried to get away from law enforcement officers. Firefighters quickly handled the small flames. Meanwhile, his truck full of passengers tried to run away.
The other 7 passengers in the vehicle are suspected to be undocumented immigrants.
This actually started down in Frio County, where deputies originally tried to stop that truck. The DPS jumped in to try to help and ended up chasing them all the way here. The foot chase part of this, though, ended up being a short one. Troopers, now with help from Bexar County deputies, caught them all.
All of them are adult males.
Most were turned over to federal agents with the Border Patrol, but one passenger also was injured and along with the driver went to a hospital. The driver, who is a U.S. citizen from Georgia, will next be headed to jail. He's facing a whole list of charges, including human smuggling. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
And here in Corpus Christi, a federal jury has convicted a man for illegally transporting people in what appeared to be a FedEx delivery truck. According to U.S. Attorney Ryan K. Patrick, Yoel Marrero Goitizolo was stopped at the Border Patrol checkpoint near Sarita back in February when authorities noticed that the truck was unevenly painted. Upon further inspection, they found 12 people inside of that cargo area of the truck. Goitizolo is currently in custody awaiting sentencing.
Who are set to be deported by ICE. Senator Scott Wiener and Assembly members David Chu, Rob Bonta, and Ash Kalra made a public plea today to the governor. They are asking to pardon Bhushan Kiola and Khao Sali. Both are from Laos. A pardon would forgive their criminal offenses and allow them to apply for U.S. citizenship and potentially stay in the United States. Both men were inmate firefighters, served their time for violent crimes, and were recently released from prison. ICE is currently holding them in detention centers with plans for deportation.
Ultimately, we understand the cruelty of what's happening when we listen to Boone talk about his experience and his family and listen to Kao's family. I mean, this is tragic, what's happening.
Because California is a sanctuary state, partnerships between state law enforcement and the Federal Immigration Agency is usually banned. However, the Department of Corrections is exempt. That means authorities are allowed to alert ICE about convicted felons when their sentences are up and their crimes were considered to be violent.
With the presidential election called for Democrat Joe Biden, many people living in refuge inside churches say they are hopeful. They're living there because they face deportation and believe that immigration authorities will not go into places of worship to arrest them. CBS 4 investigator Rick Salinger joins us live from one of those churches, the First Unitarian of Denver. Rick?
Karen, about a half dozen people throughout Colorado have been living in churches like this, in some cases for years. And now they're hoping their time has come, that they can live in the U.S. without fear of arrest. This church is home for Jeanette Vizquera. Facing possible deportation to Mexico, she has taken sanctuary for 2 years now.
My hope is that this new president create change in the immigration system.
With Joe Biden expected to take office in January, her long effort to once again be free in America may be realized.
Yeah, my hope is, oh my God, maybe Pat Santim. Really, I need Pat Santim.
There are others in Colorado. At the United Methodist Church in Denver's Park Hill, Araceli Velasquez has been in sanctuary for some 3 years. She is trying to keep her family together here rather than face removal to El Salvador.
El Salvador right now is a place that you can't live because there's so much violence.
Meantime, in Boulder, Ingrid Encalda Latorre has been fighting government efforts to deport her to Peru. She has been living in the Unitarian Universalist Church and other places of sanctuary for 4 years. She told us her hopes are high.
Yes, we have more hope with the new president, Joe Biden, because with this administration with Trump, we had a lot of doors closed.
Now she and the others who have taken refuge in churches are praying they may soon be able to safely leave. Unless something drastic happens, there are still a couple months left in the Trump administration. And so the people living in these churches are fearful that taking just a few steps off the property could lead to their deportation. Karen?
Yeah, Rick, we also understand that a letter has been written to the president-elect. What does it say?
Well, they're not even waiting for Joe Biden to take office. A letter and a petition has been sent to the president-elect asking him to take action once he takes office to allow these people to leave these churches without fear of being deported.
All right, Rick, thank you for your coverage on this. Thank you.
Well, applying for citizenship could soon be more difficult with several changes coming to the naturalization test.
CBS 4's Rocio Villalobos spoke with immigration experts who say this is another attempt by the administration to deter immigrants from living in the country.
Immigrants who apply for citizenship after December 1st will have to pass a revised version of the naturalization civics exam. UTRGV political science professor Dr. Terrence Garrett says this newest change from the USCIS is part of the Trump administration's pattern, making it more difficult for immigrants to stay in the country.
Changing sort of the rules and making it more expensive, right, doesn't seem to be very, very helpful in terms of trying to accommodate new citizens coming into this country.
Other changes include migrant protection protocols implemented in 2019 and a recent attempt from USCIS to increase the application fee by over $400. For the updated test, applicants will have to answer 12 out of 20 questions correctly versus the current 6 out of 10.
In the grand scheme of things, that isn't a major thing, but it can be intimidating, right? Especially if you're under pressure.
McAllen immigration attorney Hugo Pina echoes that sentiment and believes the changes will discourage people from applying for their citizenship.
I'm encouraging everybody to try to file it before December 1st, just so that you don't even have to worry about it.
Pina says it's not just the number of questions that's difficult, but answering them with the desired terminology.
So that's where I think it's going to become even harder, is the fact that obviously it's going to more questions, but they also kind of change the way they're answered. And in my opinion, it's very deliberate to make sure that some people are going to fail because of it.
Applicants do receive another opportunity to retake the test if failed the first time, and Pina says it is rare to fail on the second attempt. While he is encouraging those eligible to apply for citizenship do so now, he says he is hopeful that federal courts will step in to block the change. Working for you in McAllen, Rocio Villalobos.
As it stands, there will be an exception for applicants 65 years and older with a minimum of 20 years of lawful permanent residency, allowing them to take the current test.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, God bless. Peace.